It began with a flicker, a simple flame. I found the letter, on a Wednesday, hidden, inside the chapel wall, sealed away, where no one would dare to look. It wasn't meant for me, but once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. This is the Vicar's Confession, brought to you by the Hidden Chapter. Some stories aren't meant to stay hidden. In the stillness of an empty church, a single truth echoes in the silence. A vicar, bound by faith and burdened by a secret, faces an unthinkable choice. To stay silent is to live a lie. To speak up is to sacrifice everything. His prayers for guidance meet only silence. Shadows of guilt whisper in the dark. When faith and truth collide, a soul must pay the price. There's a small village in North Yorkshire that doesn't appear on most maps. A place where people still wave at passing cars, where the postman knows your dog's name, and the church bell is louder than the morning news. The village is called Dunsmere, home to less than 400 souls, and one man who knew each of them better than they knew themselves. His name was Reverend Thomas Bell. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, but Reverend Bell had that presence. He made time feel slower, his sermons were short, but his kindness lasted for days. People trusted him because he never asked for it, he just earned it. He used to leave bread on my doorstep after my husband passed. He taught my son to fish, said the river listens better than most people. I once walked into church drunk. He didn't judge me, he hugged me. On the morning of March 12th, Reverend Bell didn't open the church doors. He didn't arrive for tea with Miss Linda, and when the caretaker checked his home, she found him, sitting peacefully in his reading chair. No struggle, no pain, just gone. The whole village came out for the funeral. Those he baptized, those he buried, those he quietly saved. They didn't come for the ceremony. They came because they loved him. To everything, there is a season, a time to be born, and a time to die. He reminded us of that. But we weren't ready. 2 days later, a plain envelope appeared on the vicar's desk. No name, no stamp, just 5 words, written in red ink. I caused Reverend Bell's death. That moment shattered everything Dunsmere thought it knew. The dead don't usually leave confessions, but Reverend Bell wasn't like most men. At the bottom of the letter, 2 initials, D.R. Some called it a prank, some a cruel joke, but Olivia Marsden believed every word. Her mother had been buried by Reverend Bell just 6 months earlier. He spoke like he knew her better than I ever did. That stayed with her. So did the initials, D.R. Daniel Rooks. Daniel Rooks, convicted of killing a judge's son. The trial, rushed. The evidence, thin. He died behind bars. And Reverend Bell? He had been the prison chaplain. The two had history, but no one knew what kind. Not yet. Olivia found a passage in a hymn book, Psalm 32, verse 5. I will confess my transgressions to the Lord. But in the margins, codes, numbers, and one strange symbol, a page turning. The same symbol was carved into the prison chapel cross. It wasn't just a verse, it was a message. His name was Felix Horn, retired, a former prison guard at Blackthorn. He knew Reverend Bell, and he remembered Daniel Rooks. He wasn't violent, Felix said. He was scared, quiet, like someone watching the sky for lightning. Olivia showed him the letter. He didn't flinch. He told me the boy wasn't guilty. and that one day, someone would come looking. That day had arrived. Isaiah 43:1. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. It was written in the hymn book. It was carved into the chapel cross. And now, it was in the letter. Bell had been trying to speak, even in silence, even in death. 1 week later, another envelope, 3 words. He knew everything. Olivia searched deeper, sermons, photos, case files. She stayed up late. She asked questions no one wanted to answer. Then, a pattern. 4 names, 1 dead, 2 vanished, 1 alive. They had made a pact, and Bell had helped bury it. He kept silent to protect the church, but the guilt was too heavy. His final act? A staged death, a letter, a reckoning. He knew someone would follow the trail. He planned it that way. Every sermon, every note, every symbol. They weren't random, they were breadcrumbs. Isaiah 43:1. It kept showing up, on bookmarks, in sermon outlines, inside old envelopes. You are mine. Not just a verse anymore. It was a warning, a promise, a thread. Justice was coming. The photo in the hymn book said it all. 4 men, side by side. Bell was one of them, so was Daniel Rooks. The third? Dead. But the fourth? Olivia recognized him. Henry Landon, the real killer, now known as Bishop Henry Locke. Inside St. Alora's church attic, Olivia found a cedar chest. Inside the chest, a hollowed-out Bible. Inside the Bible, a key. Bell's personal journal, page after page, filled with sermons he never preached, notes, timelines, names, drawings of the chapel cross, and 1 line, repeated over and over, they made me lie. Bell had confronted Henry, in secret, face to face. According to the journal, Henry denied everything, then he threatened Bell. If you speak, the diocese burns. And so, Bell said nothing. He stayed quiet, let Daniel rot in prison, and watched Eli Ward disappear. He carried that silence for the rest of his life, until now. Felix Horn confirmed it. He told me once, 1 lie will outlive me, but I'll make sure the truth rises too. Then Felix dropped the final piece. Henry's not dead. He changed his name, moved to Cornwall. He's a bishop now. 2 weeks later, authorities arrested Bishop Henry Locke, formerly known as Henry Landon, charged with obstruction, perjury, and aiding in a wrongful conviction. Daniel Rooks's name was cleared. A plaque was placed outside Blackthorn Prison. It read, "Let truth speak, even when the voice is gone." Reverend Bell died with guilt, but not without purpose. His silence was finally broken. His truth heard. Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Proverbs 28:13. One name was never spoken until now. Eli Ward, a janitor, a ghost in the system. He knew the truth. He told Bell, and then he vanished. No record, no grave, no voice. Bell's final confession revealed the cost of silence. I helped bury Eli. Olivia found Eli's mother. She never knew what happened to her son until now. A second plaque was unveiled, next to Daniel Rooks. It read, "In memory of Eli Ward, the forgotten, the silenced, the truth he carried, set others free. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." John 8:32. Reverend Bell confessed. Daniel was redeemed. Eli was remembered. But what did it cost Bell? Everything. He carried the weight until it buried him too. He couldn't undo the lie, but he refused to let it outlive him. His silence was a shield, his death a doorway, and the letter? A key to what he buried, to who they buried, and to what still lives beneath the surface. Olivia was ready to close the journal, to file it, to rest it, to let go. But tucked inside the back cover, there was one last note, no signature, no name, no explanation, just 3 words, written in red. "You're next, Olivia." The ink bled into the page, as if the words refused to stay quiet, and in that moment, she realized this confession was never meant to be the last. We just heard the vicar's confession, but what did we really witness? A story of regret, of a voice hidden behind a collar, and a man who waited too long to tell the truth. What do we do with a confession whispered too late? That is the question we leave with you. Because truth has a way of waiting. It sits in the quiet until someone gives it voice. Have you ever held something in, something heavy on the heart? Because speaking it might change everything? This story isn't just about the vicar, it's about all of us. The lies we live with, the secrets we bury, and the freedom that truth, however painful, can finally bring. So ask yourself, what would I confess if I knew time was running out? What truth might I set free if I believed healing was still possible? Because in truth, there is mercy. Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Proverbs 28:13. If this stirred something in you, take a moment, whisper it to yourself, or write it down. And if you're ready, let your voice be heard in the comments below, or in the quiet, where only you and truth are listening. Because sometimes it's not the loudest voice that changes everything, but the most honest one. If you felt moved by this story, or if it reminds you of something you've lived through, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Whisper the truth forward. Like this video to show your support. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that inspire strength, kindness, and staying true to yourself. Your support helps us bring more powerful tales to life. Because silence doesn't protect you, it only gives others permission to erase you. If you've ever been told to stay quiet to make someone else feel more comfortable, remember this: you don't owe your silence to anyone. Not to keep your job, not to keep the peace, not to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. Your heart knows best. If this story struck a chord deep within, let it start a conversation, share it. Let others know they're not alone. Truth spreads faster when we stop pretending we're the only ones carrying it. Some truths take time, some stories choose their moment to rise. But here, we don't let them stay buried. This was the vicar's confession, but it won't be the last hidden chapter. Because behind every silence, there's another page to turn. Subscribe for more stories that whisper of justice, mercy, and redemption. Until next time, keep your light burning and your eyes open. The hidden chapter. Thank you for watching and for being part of this beautiful community. Together, we'll continue to learn from these stories and grow stronger. Stay tuned for more. And remember, your true path is waiting for you. All it needs is your voice. Because sometimes the soul speaks loudest after the final amen. Like, share, subscribe. Because some stories need to be remembered, and some names deserve to be heard again.